Hey, what is up, guys? It's me, Faith, and Moliminous. So, I don't upload to this channel. It's something I can't say anymore. I don't upload to this channel. We don't upload all that much. Let me go and adjust this volume because I don't record on this computer. This video that is not really going to be for most of you guys who are viewers of the channel. If you guys don't really follow me super duper hard, okay? So obviously we live stream on Moliminous Theater, but what you guys don't really probably remember is that we used to do a lot of 3D stuff. And we do a lot of 3D live motion capture stuff. In fact, we did a lot of the bases before people like even Miku got into there, and even before accusing the AI, you know, all kinds of stuff. And one of the things that we use and that everyone uses now, it's called the Xsens motion capture suit. Now, this is a meticulous piece of hardware that's still being used in the industry. The person on this call, as this is going to be a call with the Xsens employees, higher up executives even, you know, it was used in She-Hulk. You know, for better or for worse. I actually liked She-Hulk, you know. If this was old Molly, I would have already made a video on She-Hulk, but it's not. I just live stream and code and eat hot chip and be bisexual. Okay, that's all we do as Zoomers. But yeah, the suit is thousands of dollars. Right now, it's actually cheaper. I bought my original suit for like $12,000. The gloves, that's just the finger tracking, was like $3,500, you know, and then your subscription is something like $6,000. I think it was $6,000. So obviously it gets super expensive. Nowadays, it's a lot cheaper in the sense that the hardware is about $4,500, but your software is still going to be about $3,000 now. There's a nifty little chart here. Now, my last bill with them was about $2,900. For that, I could record my motion capture data, I could reprocess it, I could live stream, which was the biggest thing for us. You know, I could do all that. That is not great. That's a lot of money to put into a suit that you've already paid for, and this is in perpetuity. If I ever want to use this hardware for literally anything, I have to give them $3,000. Well, their new model, and this model has changed, and there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on, is now $3,900. And for now, all you get to do is essentially live stream, and that's it, right? They've introduced other pricing models that have been disastrous for indie devs. I want to put this in perspective for you guys. At the height of this YouTube channel, which I believe the height of my entire online ecosphere with sponsors and all that stuff, the highest we ever got at like 1 month was like $36,000. My average income each year was somewhere in the 6 figures range. You know, it was always under. I never made over 400 grand or something like that, as far as the IRS knows. And so I was squarely and safely in their indie program. They consider indie to be up to $750,000 a year. Okay, so this is ridiculous money. So they are pricing it accordingly. But this call is more for other creative types who are looking at getting the Xsens suit, because there's not a lot of videos on it, and there's not a lot of information on up-to-date stuff. There's also some handy little graphs here that just kind of map the price to features, and in 2024 you can see the price is just skyrocketed way up and the features are literally gutted. But yeah, there you go. If you guys do find this useful, go ahead and share it, download it, re-upload it. I don't really care. This is not for some sort of monetary gain or to be, I don't know, some sort of look at what I can do. This call is happening literally with a lot of people, but I specifically, in the Reddit thread where the vice president, or, you know, whatever their position was again, had seen my comments, mentioned that I needed to be able to record it. So I didn't feel like reiterating that over and over, since they did say they They read every single Reddit message from me and every Reddit message from every other user. So I'm sure they are well aware, right? Anyways, here you go.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello.
Alrighty.
How are you?
I am doing good.
Good. I'm Anthony. I'm the senior product manager for entertainment for Movella, and I just recently started with Movella in June. So catching up on everything and figuring things out.
Cool.
And your name is
You can
Molly?
call you can call me Molly. You can call me Faith. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. So what do you do, Molly? What is it that you do with
With
the
all the
Xsens and
states.
stuff? Is it VFX?
Kinda. Mostly. I am just. I'm a lot of things. I'm a. The main thing that I do with it is kind of like the VTubing stuff, which I'm sure you're
Oh, okay.
probably tangentially familiar with, because like I believe you guys do a lot of stuff with Code Miko, or at least she's really popularized it. So I do a lot of VTubing stuff, but mainly I do a lot of the code work that goes into it. So different things within Unity. So there's the last couple of things is just like the virtual production. So making the Vive cameras into like physical cameras, essentially, so that you can move it in the virtual environment, different things, and interact with the motion captured actor in real time, stuff along those lines. So
Wow.
that's the kind of stuff I do. I've been using Xsens actually for quite a while. Back when you had a there was no easy facial capture, and you had to compile your own facial capture program
Oh,
on a
wow.
Mac. So I've been doing it for a little bit of time here.
That's awesome. So you're what I would call a wizard in the VFX in the VFX world. Um, I yeah, I know nothing really as far as coding goes. I'm like, no, I'm a total like noob. I can take somebody's code and make a little bit of edits here and there, just to kind of like fits my needs, but that's about as far as I get, and you know, making cool things work.
Yeah.
Um, my background is mostly I did motion capture for 20 years, VFX, video games, and recently I want to say I started using Xsens in She-Hulk when we were shooting that.
Yeah.
Um, that was I was a total snob. Like I was a total optical snob. I was like inertial, blah blah blah, and really using it on location on She-Hulk just like totally changed my mind and perspective. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So um, that's why I'm working for Movella now. Um, are you on the East Coast or
Yes.
yeah,
We're based out of Ohio right now.
Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. I've only been once, um, and we stayed in Indiana with South Bend, so Cleveland, yeah. um,
Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to Cleveland, Columbus, then you're good. You know,
yeah,
there's nothing much more. But yeah.
yeah. Remco said he's going to be a couple minutes late, so just to let you know.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah, we visited the Christmas Story house um, while we were there, which was pretty cool. Oh, let me silence my phone here. Um, and it was kind of right after they opened things up after the pandemic, so it was like still kind of a little bit of lockdown, but not much. So we got to spend the night there on our way to Pennsylvania. So
Yeah.
it was really cool. We enjoyed ourselves there. It was a fun time. Um, So I kind of like I just really want to start the conversation, but I kind of want to wait for Remco as well. Um, I'm not too familiar with what's going on. I think a little bit. Um, I just know he was excited to talk to you about some issues that you've been having, and also like how you're using the system and what you like about it, what you don't like. So let me start by saying one of the things that has changed with Movella. Um, when I joined, it was kind of the way they were heading now is that they're becoming very customer focused. And so we want to hear like the good and the bad, and um, we're trying to make some changes that work for everybody. Um, we're updating the software. We got a lot of cool things coming next year. So it's just a matter of like hearing where you're at, what's going on, what's working for you, what isn't working for you, and stuff like that. Especially,
Yeah.
you said you've been using the Xsens for quite a while now, so it's like
Yeah, I
you're
think I
one of
got it 2017, I want to say, was the first year. So it's been a bit, something
so
around
7 years.
there.
That's a long time.
2017, 2018, something like that. I'm trying to, it was fairly early on because I remember the original site's look. Um,
And that was before the magnetic immunity, right? Am I
uh,
right asking
mm,
that?
no, I don't think so. So it might have been. It was after the beta strap. There's a version of the suit that had the weirder, almost more Ender's Game kind of straps.
Uh,
And then the more modern straps they have now. As far as I'm aware, I don't think any of it really changed. I think this first announcement about like the longer lasting nodes is like the first hardware change I think I've seen the entire time, really. I don't remember anything big, and I've gotten a couple of suits. I haven't had just like the same one over and over. So
oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, Remco.
Hey, hey, how you doing?
good morning, or whatever
Good
your
afternoon.
time. Yeah, afternoon.
Yeah, it's
Afternoon. Oh,
4
geez.
o'clock here. It's
He,
almost time.
Molly's only 2 hours ahead of me right now because you guys dropped back in daylight savings.
Yep.
Mm, right. Okay, so sorry, you guys already started. I don't know where you were at.
I just introduced myself and Molly as well. He
Uh,
introduced
you you're wearing the actor capture shirt.
Yeah, it was one that was clean. I just got back from Poland, so I was like, I gotta do laundry.
Ah, all right, all right. So Molly, this is how you would like to be called?
Yeah, sure. That's
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, perfect. Hey, thanks for taking the call. Just yeah, a quick rundown. A lot has happened, the last couple of years. There's been many choices, good ones, bad ones. It turned out, yeah, we have quite some people that are very angry with us, to least to say, which is fine. We take it. We want to try and get things, fixed, which will take, actions, which will take listening. Um, and I just wanted to talk to you guys, to some of you, of one which of one you are one. You've been very vocal in this case, a Reddit post about Xsens and the business we run. So I want to have an open conversation with you, with Anthony, who is our product manager, who is who's been working in the business for quite some time. I don't know if he told you. For instance, he worked on She-Hulk. one of the productions that also use the Xsens suit. I know you, Molly, are in the VTuber kind of market. I came across your YouTube channel. So let's maybe start off with me asking you, how is that going? How do you normally, what is your cadence in delivering YouTube videos? And also, are you indeed using motion capture for this?
Yeah, so I don't really use it for my personal stuff anymore. Like even way back, it was all just kind of testing it and whatnot. I do more of the code-based stuff behind it. So for some of the other VTubers and whatnot, some of the stuff that goes into their live production. So live production camera stuff, the Twitch throwing systems that work with them, stuff that interacts with the people in real time. Um, that's mainly what I do, and so I would use the suit myself to do that and to pretty much figure out how everything works and getting all that situated so that I could have firsthand familiarity. I think, well, originally it was going to be that I was going to use the suit just the same as everyone else. Um,
Mhm.
the the development phase just took a lot a lot longer. Um, and yeah, I mean that's essentially what I do with the suit.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
yeah.
So, because of what I understood, you consider yourself indie, or how would you consider yourself?
Definitely indies though.
Yeah, yeah. So back, I don't know when you decided to go for a suit, and the financial situation at Xsens was supportive of that, right?
Oh yeah. I was actually surprised at how supportive in some regards Xsens was. It was
Mhm.
I believe at the time, even though we had a significant amount of cash flow at the time because I was back. It was a little bit after our heyday on YouTube, and we were kind of just still finishing up school, so we were taking a back seat to posting as many videos, but we still had significant cash flow. But we wanted to take advantage of certain things, credits that we got for using certain cards and whatnot. And I remember that the financing, purchasing, whoever sales handles the actual invoicing procedure was actually really accommodating because we wanted to do some funny stuff where it was split across these two cards, and just because it got us an obscene amount of points to pay for everything on the two cards, and I
Mhm.
fully expected them to just be like, nope, can't do that because it's just uh
Ah, okay.
but they
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
able to accommodate that. I was super surprised at that. The 50% off for um the first years with the indie program was also pretty nice. um
Hmm.
so there are obviously things that Xsens deserves roses for, and I think those would
Hmm.
be the two, at least from my own personal experience.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and actually this indie program is still live, that you had, but I think it's the years after where you stepped over to Motion Cloud, I guess.
Um, kind of, sort of. Like I'm sure you're aware. The pricing is something that pretty much everyone who's indie is a big concern. We've
Hmm.
seen the pricing really kind of skyrocket and fluctuate and the features now are kind of getting gutted as well. And so that was a huge determining factor. I'm sure you're aware there's probably a lot of people who are
Drink water, you dehydrated
doing
bitch.
reprocessing not through a direct connection with you guys and whatnot, just because of the affordability. A lot of shoots do not require a consistent license. You know, they don't need 3 months; they need 2 weeks out of the out of the period, and so that's how a lot of people utilize it.
Yeah. We noticed this, and this is of course a concern for us, which is something that we are looking into. We've experienced indeed with monthly subscriptions, which, well, in the end didn't really turn out. So we are looking for ways, how can we optimize it? How can we make sure, also the high end and also the indie, are satisfied with our project, and what are the best business models for this. And like you said, but one thing that you said, like the features, you said something about the features are
getting gutted. They're getting removed.
What do you mean by that?
So, I think one of the last invoices I had here was for 2022, I think. Let's see here. And it was for the Animate Plus subscription. And the Animate Plus, it gives you the live streaming, which is super important for me. Obviously, a lot of the work just takes place in Unity. It gives you the exporting of the FBX and whatever you need, pretty much. But that's now being turned into essentially Animate Live, and Live just live streams. And the price I paid for the Plus was $2,900, and the price for the Animate Live is now $3,900. So I'm getting a fraction of the features at $1,000 increase of the price.
So what you're saying, real quick, Molly, the Animate Plus, you were able to export the FBX skeletons without processing, right?
Yeah, so I didn't.
Process. You were able to record your mocap clip and then just send out the skeleton.
Yeah, the FBX, and you were able to live stream, and you were able to do all that, and that was no one was happy. I mean, obviously, no one's happy paying $3,000 to use the hardware, because this was before. This is before the price reduction. The hardware has gotten cheaper, and I don't know if it's trying to be subsidized by the software, which I totally understand. You can only sell so many suits, so selling software is going to be the way you kind of increase your profits or keep profits high. I get that, but at this price of like $3,000-$4,000, and the only to the point where the sales rep for Xsens that was at the time telling me about it was even saying that this product, this feature, is extremely limited and not really worth your time. It just kind of feels pretty bad, because what are the two options? Now we have to pay for a separate thing for just recording. So if we just want to record and export the FBX, well, that's a fee right there. And it's not like this is a $500 a year fee. It's not like this is a $20 a month fee. This is thousands of dollars for what I can only tell so far from all my digging into the software is all within the software itself already. So
got it.
Yeah. You are correct. We try to give the features to the that fit the market, like the live market, like the game market, like the visual effects market, Because we have so many features, that's also the case. We have so many features, it's, you know, it's overkill for a lot of people. But it depends on what market you're in, and what kind of pipeline you have actually, you know, what kind of software you use. Yeah, we're trying to optimize this. We're trying to find the best solution for everyone. Yeah, and that's what we're looking at. And like you said, you're totally true. You're totally correct. You know, hardware, only hardware will not solve or will not keep the company afloat. You know, it's also very volatile. Yeah, some months you might, you know, sell, I don't know, an X amount, and I don't know, the next month it can be something different. So it's really volatile. And if you have subscriptions, which is a more stable kind of income, so it's I think a pretty standard way of doing software and hardware. But I agree, you know, it needs to fit, you know, the market, and that's what we're looking at. Like, what is a fit? You know, how could it work best, and how could it work best for an indie, and how can it work best for a high-end? You know, there's different approaches, which need to be optimized.
So
But
go ahead, Molly.
I wasn't about to say. You can go ahead.
Oh, okay, okay. So I think also part of this, Remco, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm fairly new to the company. I think part of the idea with the indie program was, as the indie studio grows, that's why, you know, the increase in price is like as it grows and it becomes a bigger studio. It's like the indie goes into a bigger studio, and therefore the pricing structure is designed to help a very small indie studio for the first year or two. You know, you get the 75% off, 50% off, and then eventually it's a big. So we're growing, we're helping the indie grow, but also growing with the company. But there are times where the indie company stays very small, and so then the price point becomes out of reach. Does that sound correct? To you, Molly?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think I think there's perhaps a disconnect. It's no secret if you've been paying attention to pretty much anywhere, Reddit, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. The majority of people who are complaining aren't going to be even the people that were making the same type of money that I was, which I thought was ridiculous amounts of money, which was in the mid six figures. I was still squarely in your indie program. It's going to be the vast majority of other people who see Code Nico or see all these other people, and they want to be VTubers, or they want to start making things like Halo Follower, which are these animations, or Russian Badger. And the thing is, we'll put down money. I forget how much I spent the very first time, but it was easily closer to like the 20 grand of just hardware stuff, the Xsens gloves or the Manus gloves, the suits, the specialized computers just to run it. Well, not really specialized, but I need a specific one just to run it. You know, so we're spending a lot, and then we don't actually own it doesn't feel like we own anything, because we still have to pay. We got the suits, we got the gloves, all that's great. Now give us another $5,000, another $7,000. Give us more money to actually use any single feature of the suit. You brought up, like, there's a lot of features. We need two. That's all the vast majority of people need. We need to be able to export our own capture data, even if it was raw capture data. That would be fantastic. We need to be able to live stream, and that's really it. Of the main things, I'm sure you can be like, oh well, single level, no level, etc. But those are the two main things.
Got it. Okay, so buying the suit and being able to live stream and export your FBXs without any sort of processing, it's basically because the indie or the smaller studio would just spend their time fixing it in animation if they need to. Otherwise, it's just the live stream, correct?
Yeah, it's just the vast majority of people. It feels like, and I don't know if this is disconnect maybe between marketing or just perception of it, that this was almost like the people's suit in a sense. The
Mm.
the upfront cost was a lot in the beginning, and it slowly gotten cheaper and cheaper, especially on the second hand market, because your suits are reselling for. I just picked up another one for I think $1,300, right, in pretty much perfect condition. Um,
Mm.
it's exceedingly affordable to get into it, but the reason why it's so affordable is because it's so expensive for most of the people to use it. It's looked at as this affordable option to get truthfully really high quality motion capture data, and that's how we thought the prices were going to start trending downwards in the software side, and I think a lot of people did, so that this could be the kind of go-to solution that everyone utilized. And it seems like it's going into the opposite direction, as you mentioned, growing with the indie company. It seems like it's no longer about the indie personality, or maybe there's a very large disconnect of what indie even is at this point. It's more, if you're not running a huge production, where you're able to just kind of write this off as a nothing burger, a $6,000 subscription that you may only use 2 or 3 months out of the year. It doesn't seem like there's really any interest to cater to you at this point with Movella.
Got it.
All right.
So
Hey,
go ahead.
Yeah, so if it was up to you, and you would have a choice of tailoring the business of Movella. Now, what would be your recommendation? Also taking into account that a business has to earn money as well.
Obviously business has to earn money. I get that. I run a business. I understand. People depend on me, as people depend on you, and your company. I'd probably take the same kind of approach that Adobe does. Everyone knows Adobe products are pirated to an extreme degree. I've been sponsored by Adobe
Drink
to
water,
push
you
Adobe
dehydrated
products,
bitch!
where I edited the ad on a cracked version of their software. Everyone's familiar with this. Yet Adobe still makes oodles and boodles of money, because the way that they're making it is through the corporate entities, and then they give a more reasonable pricing structure nowadays, with Creative Cloud, to individuals who aren't making a ton of money. Studios paying lot more money. Individuals are paying like $30-$40 a month per suite that they want to use. Something that just tiers the two: price tax the ones that can afford it, um give something reasonable for the ones who can't. That way, I've always looked at it as this: the reason why Adobe kind of still stays afloat in certain industries, despite there being far better programs out there, DaVinci Resolve and other programs, is the fact that the kids that are going to become the people in the industry are learning on Adobe because of how accessible it is. DaVinci Resolve, other things aren't as accessible. There's not as much ubiquity. Ubiquity. It's not as saturated, right? There's 1,000,001 Adobe tutorials. There's not as many as these other ones. It's a household name. Essentially, saturation of the market, by making it accessible to the people who are going to be the ones that are using it primarily. That would be how I would do it. Now, the The person in me that wants to maximize my own profits, I would just love the ability to just get the most amount that I can from the suit for as little money as possible. But like I said, you gotta make profit. I don't think anyone's mad that you're charging us a monthly fee. I don't think anyone's mad necessarily at the concept of Motion Cloud. We're just upset at the price. That's all.
Yeah.
So when Motion Cloud first came out, I know it was less expensive, and then they upped the price. Is that correct, Remco?
Yes, very much.
And that's kind of when it started. So I have a question for you. Speaking about like Adobe and the subscription, and also, so I'm going to bring in Autodesk to that. Currently, and keep in mind, this is not something I'm thinking about at all for our system, but I'd like to get your opinion on Autodesk has tokens now, where it's like a use case payment. You pay for when you need it by buying tokens, and you can use a certain amount of tokens to run the software. I don't know if it's like days. I haven't looked much into it because I was like, well, that's a weird system. But have you looked into that? How do you feel about that?
I haven't. I actually, it's funny. I started on 3ds Max like way back in the day, and I started there because Bungie was using 3ds Max to develop things like Halo 3 and stuff, and so I was a huge Bungie fan. So I'm like, well, I want to work for Bungie one day, so I'm gonna learn nothing but 3ds Max. And but the free applications, the open source applications, Blender, Maya, all of these things are just so good that I couldn't ever justify sticking with such an expensive software. I don't think 3ds Studio Max, it never branded itself as an accessible thing. This is a very corporate first kind of program. There was never any tailor-made ads or, brand personalities tied to it that are doing sponsored videos or promotions like, hey, do you want to be a game designer? Well, you need this exceedingly expensive program to do so. That's how you do it. But just to the notion of tokens, I don't think anyone wants that. I think they would even rather pay more just for just a month than, well, I want to use my suit today. Time to bust out the credit card. I think it's just that mental, even if it was less, right? And we're spending less, I think there's just that mental fatigue of knowing every time I want to use this, how many tokens do I have? Do we have enough tokens for this shoot? And essentially people are probably going to just require some sort of auto refresh token thing. And at that point, you're just doing a normal subscription model.
You might as well just do the month. Yeah. And what about a monthly subscription model? I know we don't have that right now.
I would love it. If you gave us a reasonable price, and we're going to have two very different definitions of reasonable. I already know that. Of being able to live stream, export data, all that stuff, that would be great. I don't know what reasonable for your profit margins look like. Again, everything's on system, which is, anytime you're taxing the customer stuff for stuff that's technically already on the computer is a little bit irksome. But like you said, hardware doesn't make profit. Xbox doesn't make profit from selling consoles. They make profit from licensing and game sales and that kind of thing.
And the subscription as well. Yeah. The
Xbox Live. Yeah. So we get it. $500 a month. Not great. Not good. Especially if all I want to do is live stream. If we have people that just want to live stream the data, that's a lot of money. That's $6,000 skier. And so you're just back at square one. I don't know how low your profit margins or how low you could price it. $100? I could tell you right now, $100, the amount of people who are totally just sharing keys would drop dramatically, we would all pretty much just pay that. That's what, like $1,200 a year. That's perfectly fine. We would all pay that. Because right now, honestly, if honestly, there is no brand loyalty to Xsens. The only reason that I continue to hold suits is the pure fact that there is not right now a competitor in the same kind of price market that does the same thing with the same magnetic immunity. That's not going to last forever. That's going to go away. That ability that you guys have to kind of stranglehold us right now is, I'm sure, not going to last in perpetuity. So we have, there's no one that I know of that is just like the same way that people are diehard Adobe fans and will defend any terrible business practice that they may or may not engage in. There's no one really like that for Xsens. Pretty much we are held at gunpoint and we are doing it because we have to, because there's not an alternative.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, anything else you would like to get off your chest?
No, that's, I mean, nothing that you, I'm sure, haven't already heard. I don't think I know I'm not saying anything new. I'm sure you're aware we're all talking. We all talk about the emails you guys send either individually or as a group, which is why I already knew you were sending the same exact messages. I know this isn't the first call that you've had. Pretty much everyone's just exceedingly tired. We've all had the same calls. We've all expressed the same things. I think I even said in my message, there's not really anything new that I can tell you that you don't already know, that your marketing team doesn't already know, that your sales team doesn't already know. One of the hugest fears is the fact that, especially from the outside looking in, we can see the stocks, we can see the things. I know you guys got relisted. I know you guys have new partnerships coming in. That's great. I want that to continue because as it is right now, if you guys were to disappear tomorrow or do what you did with Obscure, right, we're left with tens of thousands of dollars of nice orange plastic because your software is extremely locked down. I can personally attest to, unfortunately. And there is no way for us to utilize it without you.
No, that's clear. And to your yeah, we were listed on NASDAQ. It didn't work out. We are going private again, which is happening. Which is what we are in the process of doing. That's also what you've seen. Obscure was one of the there's, to be honest, there's no hardware out there. You know, there's maybe a few. You know, we haven't sold many of it, and that's also a reason why we didn't continue. It's just it didn't work out, unfortunately. It was a really good idea, but it's not. And I think also there it was a totally different team, which set up this Obscure, kind of loose from Xsens, but under the same umbrella. The communication was not perfect for sure. And I think the same happened on our end, when we discussed about Motion Cloud. Which was in a transition phase to our defense, but still it happened. And now we're on the brink of trying to fix things. Like I said, we're delisted. We're going into a new phase. We want to somehow get a clean sheet, see how we can manage this, and then discussions like this help. Also to understand what's playing. I've been discussing in Reddit trying to open up at least a little bit, and hear what comes out. And it's all fair. We're not debating it. It's the way it is, and we just need to find a way forward.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll ever get necessarily a clean sheet, or at least not one without a couple of years of that. Even with obscure selling fewer units, and even if you're saying it's a separate team, which we understand, it's still underneath your name, essentially, right?
Yeah.
This was
It's
it's
not a defense, and it happened, and we cannot. The only thing we can do is apologize for it. Indeed.
sure, but your apology for, like, you understand the handling was exceedingly poor. Your apology for it, and for me, what your sales team offered me was a slight discount on the most expensive version of your subscription. That's what we got. Go buy more if I didn't already own Xsens suit, right? Which you didn't know if I had at the time. Is go buy another $4,500 suit. Go spend, at least $4,000 for software, at least. And then we'll give you like possibly $1,000 off your first year of the $4,000 software. So you went from targeting, at this point, undisputably, right, hyper specific, low budget indie people, because that's what it was, and then upselling them to like $10,000 worth of stuff. And the only there's still people trying to figure out what even happened, because the only official announcement is not even a tweet with text that you could Google search so that it gets indexed. It's an image, and I don't know if that's deliberate. Again, a lot of goodwill is gone, so what could be attributed to just negligence is seen as malicious, right? So it's just an image that's not getting indexed. It says, hey, we're shutting this down, with no real prior warning beforehand. And then the software itself, again, because it's locked down to your software, just went bye-bye. No archives, just removed, delisted. No place for you to download it if you ever wanted to use your $1,500 hardware again. And that's what we all pretty much see is probably going to happen to us, even with these new nodes. That's real cool. Longer battery life. Are you going to still provide replacements for these original nodes, or is this some sort of way to phase out the original nodes by no longer producing those ones, and having these new ones not be compatible, so that we can mix and match and slowly replace, should that happen, essentially making us have to buy new suits quicker? That's all the stuff that's going through everyone's head. Again, we all talk constantly, from people with 700,000 subs, 1 million subs, Code Miku. There's other huge indie VTubers who also do stuff, which I've seen your PR team or your social media team reach out to when they spent a large amount of money to try to get their suit working, and then day one they couldn't use it because of licensing issues that weren't disclosed to them. All kinds of things. Even the licensing, just getting just the sales team in general, which I understand can be hectic, but as far as I know, you guys have a huge team of people at this point, of like 150. It takes days to buy the software. I have no idea why there's not an automatic process at this point. I tried to even get a trial. It took forever for a response, and the code that I got was already used. Had that been, and I know for a fact we've had people who have paid who have gotten used things, and I know you guys are using Sentinel Tales. You're using almost a default layout for it, so I don't know why there seems to be an individual generating them or something, but that entire process is terrible too.
Okay.
Yeah, that is true, and that is not something that we can change, very easily. It takes quite a while. I know they are working on the subscription model and the subscription backend, but that's correct, and it's quite hideous, and that's also one of the reasons the motion cloud is not working for us, because it's and in the market, because it's a very inefficient way of working. But yeah, that's on us, something that we need to fix at some point, which is also part of our roadmap. But you are correct. I don't know about the image for obscure. I heard it before, indeed. I don't think there's anything deliberate on it, but I have no clue, actually. That's a good point. And I understand, when you're in such a cycle, everything, tops up, and then things like this even top up, which I totally understand. And it's gonna take time, to not to fix it, but at least, get into a positive flow again, which, Anthony also is part of. Yeah, you said something about the battery. I don't think it's the case, but maybe Anthony, you can elaborate on that.
You're talking of the window suit?
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's for
bigger ones with the
this.
batteries.
Yeah, so there's we got some of us at least got some of the notifications about some of the first hardware changes in a while.
Yeah.
The suit is going to be the nodes on the suits, little sensors are going to be lasting a little bit longer, but they have a new shape and look to them. Is this gonna essentially phase out the original pucks? Are these compatible with our original ones?
Yeah, I'm just so you know, I'm taking notes. Like I'm not browsing the internet or anything. So I'm gonna check on this to make sure. They are basically the shape is it's the same node. It is a little bit longer, or so it's a rectangle, but it's a little bit taller because the battery is bigger. But it should fit with everything. And I believe it's compatible with the old nodes, like not necessarily having to replace the full set, but I'm going to confirm that.
Okay. And is there any
Um,
plan to discontinue, let's say for the starter, those nodes? Are there any plans to stop production of those in favor of these ones?
I can't answer that right now because I don't have the correct answer or the right answer. I haven't asked about anything with the Awinda. I'm going to ask that with the hardware engineering as well. And I can send you an email and let you know.
All right.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
I don't know that I don't know that they're planning to continue developing the older version instead of the new one. But I just want to make sure I give you the right answer. I don't want to say like yes or no and then have it come back and be like, oh, I was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Um,
You understand that that's
one of the
very
things we want to do.
worrisome.
We want to make sure we're giving the correct information. My goal is to have less fluctuation in prices. I know that one of the things that we did in the past was kind of like this back and forth. So we're really trying to hear the customers out before we make major decisions, so that we don't have to go back and forth with it. Because I do know that gives the sense of like no planning and like we're just trying things just to see, throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. That's not the case. We are, at least now, I can't speak for the past, but we're actively trying to find out what the customers need, what they want, what they're asking for, what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right, and make decisions based on that, so that those decisions can be you know, straightforward and going forward without kind of stepping back and keep trying different things over and over again. So just to let you know where we are with that.
I get that, but and I understand, especially that you're newer, but I don't know how much you need to look into what we want. Everyone's been pretty vocal about that. I think it's more so like really the response to the separate pricing for exporting, live streaming, etc. Was kind of laughing essentially, because on one hand that could be good if it was like, oh yeah, you can get these two separate modules and whatnot, and this is going to be like, you know, $50 each a month or something like that, and that would be great. But because we know Xsens, we know Movella, we all knew, no, it's going to be like thousands of dollars for less. Like I said, the Animate Plus, $2,900 like 2 years ago. Exporting, live streaming. Now live streaming is $3,900. And it was billed in a fancy email with all the graphics and stuff, touting this as a really great monumental win for the consumer and how this pricing is so good for us. It's so like I feel like you guys you know what we want. What is realistic is how much money do you guys need to show the prop? I guess you're not public anymore, so I deal with more. I guess we are private, but you know, I don't know what you need to show, how much of a growth percentage you need to show, but I guess essentially what you guys need to show is that. But you know, how much money do you guys need, and how hard do you have to kind of gouge us? Essentially, that's all you guys really. You know what we need. We need affordable exporting and live streaming. How much can you guys sacrifice to get that to the consumers? That's all.
And I think this is and one of the important things on this discussion is this is really a discussion about the indie developers, like you said. It's a little different when you're talking about, like, you know, some of the bigger with the bigger customers, like, you know, the game studios and the AAA VFX studios and stuff like that. So this is more towards the indies. It seems like we basically kind of priced ourselves out of your reach is what I'm definitely picking up here. And also giving you stuff that maybe you don't need. It's not as important to you, but also getting rid of some of the stuff that was very important to you as we raise the price. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. On body recording, all that stuff is not really as heavily
you're
utilized.
Like,
yeah,
got it.
But yeah, that's it. I at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm not demoralizing you, especially if you're newer, and beating you up over this. But at the same time, the amount of frustration is also insanely high. So but yeah, that's pretty much
sense. That makes absolute sense. I can understand the frustration that comes from that. You know, I was very frustrated when ZBrush went to Maxon and became the subscription model. You know, before it was like you buy it and it's yours, and they upgrade it for free for as long as you want. And when Maxon bought it, that was a frustration for me, because I, for 6 years, had an indie studio doing motion capture stuff. So I get the pain points of, you know, changing the models, changing the software, and then being like, you know, oh, the price went up as well. So I get that. I understand that.
And yourself, you're not using the system anymore? We won't listen, you know, or you have your ways of getting the data done.
column A, column B. I don't have a subscription anymore. I still have my suits, because again they're really affordable. So I mean, again, the hardware, no one cares about the hardware at this point. The suit I got was $1,300 and it came with a laptop with it, right? Because they're just trying to make some money back because they can't utilize it. A lot of people are just if we need reprocessing, we just use the other people whatnot to actually export the FBX. We just pay them some money. That's pretty much how it goes for the vast majority of people, in all kinds of places. It's just what everyone's going to be doing. So that's how I handle it.
Okay. That makes sense, and it's not news to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think I know enough. Thank you for the feedback, Molly. Yeah, like I said, it's not that you bring in new news, but it's good to vocalize. It's good to understand. And it's also something we use internally. Yeah, to make changes. Give us some time. We need we need to take some time. And also, you're not the only one that I'm talking to. Like you said, you guys are in contact, which is fine. We are reaching out, or I've been reaching out to everyone that interacted with my comment, and I just want to talk to them and see what their vision is and their view.
Yeah.
But thanks for taking the call. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having the call, and thank you both.
All
Okay.
right. Thanks, Molly.
You have a great day.
Good meeting you.
Yep, you too.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.